Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital spoilers for the week of June 2nd to 6th, Jack Brennan will be under pressure, while Professor Henry Hank Dalton and Jordan Ashford will become closer. There will be a lot going on in Port Charles because Carly Spencer will also receive a shock. First of all, Alexis Davis will have to defend herself to Laura Collins after being questioned about the $10 million that was taken from Ace Cassidy's estate. It appears like Lucky Spencer might tell Elizabeth Baldwin the truth about Christina Corinthos Davis' involvement in the collision. Lucky may begin to realize that perhaps he isn't destined to settle down if he encounters a challenging reality later on. Is the program about to remove Lucky from the canvas again? Then, Gloria Cerullo will be attacked by Brooklyn Quartermain for assisting Lois Cerullo in hiding Giovanni Giopalmeri's true name for so long. Brooklyn and Lulu Spencer will then have a heated argument, because Lulu revealed the secret and destroyed Gio in the process. Sonny will give some advice after he adamantly denies ever knowing he was Joe's grandfather. Additionally, Sonny will have the opportunity to talk to Jason Morgan about Gio, Michael Corinthos, and whatever else he's thinking about. As the custody dispute between Michael and Willow Corinthos continues, there will be a chance for some exciting courtroom scenes. It appears that the father of Sasha Corbin's child will be revealed, perhaps causing mayhem. According to GH teasers, Willow will ultimately take action, so she might use the edge that Rick Lansing might get for her. In the end, Nina Reeves will have to confess. Will Nina reveal to Willow that she gave Rick the paternity news, or will she finally come clean about her liaisons with Drew? In any event, by the end of the week, Drew will be in trouble. But if Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson want to use Jacinda to neutralize Drew, that might have more to do with them discovering her. We'll check to see if Trina Robinson can bring Kai Taylor to the family gathering that Portia and Curtis are hosting. Jordan will first become more familiar with Professor Dalton before meeting with Curtis. Will Jordan notice any odd clues throughout their potentially flirtatious conversation? Shady Professor Dalton has a lot to conceal. After Carly recovers from the shock of being a father, he will return to Jason to answer her questions. Carly won't like that she's only now learning about this because Jason has been pretending to be Sasha's baby daddy. He'll find himself under strain over with Brennan. In order to update Jason on her suspicions, Anna Devane will confront Brennan and attempt to extract information from him. According to General Hospital spoilers, Anna is working on a theory. Tune in to see whether this includes any updates on Sonny's enigmatic enemy. According to General Hospital spoilers, as the custody hearing for Amelia and Wiley Corinthos approaches in late May, the entire town is preparing for a courtroom brawl. However, a startling revelation regarding Drew Quartermain's interference could change the course of events. In an attempt to make amends and perhaps consider reconciliation, Willow Corinthos recently came to Germany to see Michael Corinthos, but she was informed that he would not see her. To make sure Willow never spoke to Michael and to make her more susceptible to his manipulations, Drew, unbeknownst to her, paid a nurse at his rehabilitation center to fabricate a story. As Carly Spencer battles for Michael's children in court, there are rumors that this truth bomb could detonate. What will happen to Willow's faith in Drew and the custody dispute if she finds out that Michael was unaware that she had flown across the world to make amends with him? Drew's plan is driven by Willow's heartbreak. Willow's journey to Germany was an attempt to patch things up with Michael. Some admirers even speculated that she hoped for a resurgence of their former bond. She was devastated by the nurse's assertion that Michael had turned down her visit, which made her turn more toward Drew, who has been quietly urging her to support him in the custody dispute. Drew purposefully isolated Willow in order to bolster his argument for Amelia, and Wiley by taking advantage of her emotional weakness. Willow is not a fool though, and she may start to doubt the Germany incident as her suspicions about Drew's motivations increase. Willow's world might collapse if a courtroom slip discloses the truth, possibly as a result of Nina Reeves assisting Carly and spotting Drew's plots. When she finds out that Drew deceived her, will her grief turn to anger? A courtroom truth bomb is coming, according to GH spoilers. Carly will vigorously defend Michael's rights against Willow and Drew's unified front during the custody court, which is expected to be a high-stress situation. According to sources, Nina may find proof of the nurse's payoff, possibly in the form of a facility whistleblower or a leaked payment record, in an attempt to influence Willow or discredit Drew. Willow may have to change her mind about custody if this bombshell is revealed during the trial, since it could destroy her faith in Drew. Carly would take advantage of the opportunity to support her argument by portraying Drew as a manipulator. However, as Willow struggles with the reality that Michael never turned her down, the revelation runs the risk of alienating her on both sides. Will Drew squirm out of it, or will the commotion in the courtroom reveal his deceit? General Hospital spoilers. What takes place after Willow finds out? The emotional consequences could change Willow's relationships and the custody dispute if she finds out Michael didn't know she traveled to Germany. She might get in touch with Michael, who is still recuperating in Germany, and start a dialogue that could change their dynamic, either in the direction of closure or reconciliation. Her rage at Drew's betrayal might cause her to support Carly, which would undermine his custody claim, or it might leave her too shaken to fight back. Fans of GH wonder if Willow will confront Drew in a dramatic courtroom scene, or if the truth will cause her to return to Michael's sphere of influence. What do you think? Emma was startled to discover that Gio was not in the cabin where she had woken up. Soon after, he brought coffee back. Emma informed him that she believed he had left without her. "No, I'd never do that to you, Emma. Especially now. You're the only person that I trust," answered Gio. Gio noticed that Dante and Brooklyn had sent him numerous texts and calls when he checked his phone. Gio informed Emma that he wasn't yet prepared to handle other people. He was still certain that it was all a lie. "I'm supposed to believe that Tracy prizes family and blood relations more than anything, that she's going to care what I think because I'm officially a quartermain now," Gio complained. The fact that Ned was attempting to phone him also seemed strange to Gio. "I've had a few cool conversations with him about music, but that's it," remarked Gio. "Now, I'm supposed to think of him as my grandfather? No, I'm not going to have fake relationships with any of them." Gio pondered whether Sonny had been aware of the reality. "It would explain why he paid for my entire education and music stuff," he thought. Gio also questioned the sincerity of Camilla's affections for him. They were, Emma insisted. "You loved her and she loved you too," she stated. Having you come into her life at her lowest point? You gave her a reason to keep on going. Are you just going to stand there and tell me that Camilla was not your mom? Emma responded. "No, she was definitely my mom. Brooklyn is just the woman who gave me away," said Gio. After checking her phone, Emma informed Gio that Anna had asked her when she would be home. Emma resisted Joe's advice to return to Port Charles. Before realizing he had to face people, Gio proposed that they travel to Canada. "We're going back," he declared. When Anna contacted Brooklyn in the Q kitchen to let her know that Emma was with Gio, she was relieved, but they were sort of on a road trip. When Lois showed up at the back door still wearing her nurse's ball formal clothing, Brooklyn requested Anna to swiftly end the call before asking her to let her know if she heard from them. Lois inquired about Joe's well-being. Brooklyn told her mother, "You have no right to ask that question." Lois recommended that Anna follow Emma's phone when Brooklyn admitted that she didn't know where Gio was. Brooklyn protested immediately. "Joe's entire life just blew up last night. My need to explain myself or ask for his forgiveness is not more important than his need for time or space. I'm not going to do to him what you are doing to me," Brooklyn stated. "I have no interest in taking care of you or your feelings after you completely betrayed my trust." Lois justified herself once more, assuring Brooklyn that she simply did what she believed to be right. "I did exactly what you asked me. I found your baby a good home," said Lois. "In my own family," answered Brooklyn. Lois described the recent death of Camilla's husband. When Ma told her about the baby, you could see the light come back into her eyes. "All she wanted to do was raise Gio and love him," said Lois. Brooklyn reaffirmed how terrified she was to learn she was expecting. "You offered me a lifetime of secrets, Ma, and God forgive me, I took it," Brooklyn wept. She was still in shock that Lois had given her cousin her child. "Gio grew up down the block. I babysat him. I played with him and I never even knew he was my son. I was too self-centered to refuse Ma's proposal of Camilla," Lois acknowledged. "I was so scared to send your baby out there into the world. This way I could look over him and make sure he was okay." Then Brooklyn made the final point. Gio wasn't okay when Camilla died. I was an adult when that happened. Why didn't you tell me then? Said Brooklyn. Lois clarified that she didn't want Joe's life to become any more confusing. She also desired Brooklyn's independence. She might not have met Chase if she had been aware about Gio. But Gio was my son, and all the choices that you made robbed me of my own choices for him. And now that he's an adult, I will never get that chance again. Brooklyn wept. My son won't talk to me. I can't help him through this identity crisis because he doesn't trust me. You took away everything he has ever believed about family, and now he has no one. Gio is never going to talk to me again, and I don't want to talk to you again. At that moment, Gloria suddenly showed there to chastise Brooklyn. Hey, don't you ever talk to your mother like that, Gloria responded. You want to have it out with someone, young lady, you have it out with me. In her brief visit to Curtis' office, Carly described Willow and Drew's legal plan, which involved accusing a dad in a burn facility of forsaking his children. It would be very helpful if Aurora Media could remind the people that Drew Kane is a con artist, that he's not a man who uses his position in Congress to help people, that he uses it to get revenge and settle scores, Carly said. Curtis claimed he couldn't help, but that Carly didn't need to convince him of Drew's awfulness. I may run Aurora Media, but Michael is the majority shareholder. If we run a smear campaign against Drew, then Drew could wind up appearing like the victim. I want to take Drew down as much as you do, but this ain't the way, Curtis said. Don't you worry. I'm working on something else, he said. Curtis wasn't in the mood when Portia dropped by to chat after Carly left. Because of what Carly had done, he informed Portia that he was unable to assist her. He was frustrated and Portia understood. Portia's statement, "That's why I tried to stop Drew myself but I failed," startled Curtis. After that, Portia described exactly what she and Nina did. I know it was crazy to hire a sex worker to drug Drew, but Nina and I really thought it was going to work, Portia added, hoping Curtis would get the point. Curtis simply absorbed everything before he abruptly realized that Tracy had been set up by Drew. I've got an idea to neutralize Drew. We gotta do something that Drew can't do. We gotta find Jacinda, said Curtis. When the baby kicked, Michael asked Sasha how she was feeling in Carly's living room. For the first time, she allowed Michael to feel his child by placing his hand on her stomach. Then when Michael was in court, he asked Sasha to stay with Wiley and Amelia. Sasha had to drop a bomb at that point. Rick had called her to testify, so she would be present at the hearing. Sasha didn't see how Rick could have known that he was her baby daddy, but Michael was concerned. During my deposition yesterday, Rick's questions were pretty straightforward. He wanted to know about Willow, but no baby-related questions at all, Sasha reassured Michael. But Diane questioned her about last summer's 4th of July kiss between Willow and Drew. Sasha claimed to have realized that perhaps everything could have been averted if she had simply told Michael about the kiss at the time it occurred. When Michael was playing with his children later, Wiley informed him that Uncle Drew had stated that Daddy would not be returning for a very long time. Carly and Michael had some alone time as Sasha prepared the children for a swim. Michael didn't agree. Drew made his way into the existing cracks in our relationship. If we were really as strong as I thought we were, there was no way he could have come between us, said Michael. I was so desperate to make her happy that I don't think I ever saw her for who she truly was, he said. Sasha agreed. To share some of her findings, Nina summoned Ava to her office. I just got some new information that could guarantee my daughter getting full custody of her children, but I don't want to use it, Nina stated. She shared with Ava what she had discovered at the Brown Dog. Wait, that means that Michael and Sasha slept together, which means that Michael is probably the father of Michael's baby and not Jason, Ava giggled. This means that Michael has been hiding a pregnant mistress, which might be enough to give Willow custody. But Nina acknowledged her affection for Sasha. And to expose that Michael is the father of her baby would be a big betrayal, and I don't want to hurt Sasha that way, Nina stated. I have seen firsthand how much being pregnant again means to Sasha. That didn't seem fair to Ava. Why should Willow bear the brunt of the criticism when Sasha had an affair with a married man? Drew's at fault here. He's turned Willow's life into a circus. That is another reason I don't want to give Rick this ammunition. 'Cause if Willow gets full custody of her children, she is never ever going to leave Drew, Nina said. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Drew Kane might buy Willow Corinthos custody by bribing the judge. In the impending legal dispute, we wouldn't be shocked if Drew went that low. Since disgusting Drew has demonstrated that he will cross any line, why should this custody dispute be any different? If everything else fails, Drew can choose to make good use of his wealth and contacts with congressmen. Willow has been assured by Drew that she will not lose Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, and he plans to honor that commitment. According to GH teasers, Rick Lansing would stop at nothing to support Willow in court, but Drew's previous plan was completely thrown out the window. Now that Michael is home and prepared to defend his children like never before, it will be difficult for Drew to portray him as an absentee parent who abandoned his kids. Although Rick can attempt other strategies, they might not be sufficient to prevent Willow from suffering a terrible loss. He might even go so far as to bribe the judge to rule in Willow's favor if Drew decides he cannot bear the risk. Perhaps Drew could try blackmailing the judge if that doesn't work. After all, Drew's favorite pastime at this point is essentially blackmailing people. In any case, Drew has demonstrated that he has no problem using dirty tactics. It would not be shocking if Drew chose a criminal insurance policy and used extortion or bribery to influence the judge to Willow's advantage. It will be interesting to watch how the rest of this custody drama unfolds, because Drew will not breach any boundaries. Will Drew be able to honor his promise to Willow about her children? If Drew wants to ensure that occurs, how far will he have to go? According to General Hospital spoilers, Drew may tweak his plan significantly, so stay tuned for any unsavory developments. Sasha goes into labor and Carly rats out. Spoiler alert. As Michael and Willow's custody case starts. Naturally, tensions are running high as the hearing to determine Willow and Michael's child custody begins. Michael is prepared, willing, and able to do everything it takes to keep his estranged wife away from Drew. Willow worries that her disgusting romance with her uncle-in-law will lose her the children, and two secrets are about to be revealed. Watch the teaser video below to see how Carly enjoys telling Drew that Nina was behind the ketamine scandal that turned him into a tabloid laughingstock. However, Nina is also in possession of a potentially explosive piece of information. She has discovered that Jason is not, as Sasha had claimed, the father of her child. Instead, Michael is. It appears that Rick, Willow's lawyer, takes offense when interrogating Sasha, triggering Michael's protective instincts. He reacts even louder and faster than Diane could. But it seems that Sasha goes into labor on the stand, so he has excellent reason to speak out. Will we get to meet the newest member of the Quartermain family soon? Dante inquired as to whether Lulu had informed Gio that he and Brooke Lynn were his parents. She informed you about how I unintentionally discovered she had your baby, and placed him for adoption, Brooke Lynn. She questioned him. She thought Gio must have heard her and Lois talking about it, but he thought she told him. She claimed she never intended for things to turn out the way they did when he questioned why she meddled. Then you should have minded your own damn business, he retorted. She felt that he shouldn't lose any more time with Gio because of her experience of missing Charlotte's appointment on time. Things continued pointing to Gio, even though she said she never intended to look for him. He claimed that many lives had been upended by the small-scale conflict between Lulu and Brooke Lynn, including Gio, who was innocent throughout the entire ordeal. He said, "You destroyed the one opportunity one might ever have to connect with my son." She informed him that she didn't want him back, and that she wasn't attempting to win him back. Never. They decided not to be pals. Lulu started crying as Dante said he wanted to be the one to inform Rocco about his brother, and that she should leave his life since she had caused him enough harm. Tracy met Olivia in the Quartermain estate, who was still processing the notion that she had watched Gio grow up, but had no idea he was her grandson. The child's former neighborhood loved him, and she was disappointed that she didn't feel the connection during all the time she held him as a newborn. Olivia informed Tracy that she couldn't stop thinking about how Gio brought everyone together. Tracy joked that Olivia wasn't clairvoyant, and the two paused, looked at each other knowingly, and Tracy laughed out. "At least not then," she said. "Oh my God," Tracy acknowledged. "Now I have blood ties to Sonny Corinthos," and continued by describing how Sonny has most likely been corrupting Gio. "I'm not going to have it," she cursed. When asked why she hadn't told Ned about the baby, Brooke Lynn said it wasn't because she didn't trust him. It would be all right, he told her. She pondered whether he felt let down by her for holding such a significant secret for so long. He claimed that although he had hoped she would have approached him, he wasn't going to question any of her decisions at the time because it was her life. But Lois's decisions. She always wanted to see her son and even dreamed of it. But now it's a complete nightmare, Brooklyn explained, adding that he will deal with her mother later. Ned assured Gio that once things calmed down, he would understand. What if I never get the chance to love my son? She was concerned. That couldn't be possible, Ned thought. To have a conversation, Ned exited and Olivia entered. No one knew more than she did what she had endured, she told Brooklyn. She reassured BLQ that she would always be there for her, saying, I was a scared pregnant teenager once myself. Olivia said that the two circumstances were different and that after Gio calmed down and they located him, they would comfort him that everyone loved him. Brooklyn questioned whether she should have kept the kid like Olivia did. Gio claimed that it was the biggest lie of all when Emma questioned him at the bridge about why he had broken his violin. He always believed that his mother, a superb violinist, was the source of his skill, and that the violin helped him feel connected to her when she passed away, like I was carrying a piece of her with me. However, it turned out that she wasn't his mother. I'm never gonna tell you what to do or how to feel, but I'm not gonna leave you alone right now, Emma said in response to his order to leave. He had a lot of questions about everything, and Emma thought that Brooklyn and Dante were being honest when they said they were unaware he was their son. He claimed to have always wondered what his father would think of him, and to now be aware of Dante's hatred for him. Emma told him that there were plenty of other people who loved him, including herself, so it didn't matter if Dante disliked him or not. She clarified that it didn't matter where he went when he objected to her recommendations for where he should stay. Where you go, I go. When Jason picked up Amelia, he thanked Sasha for being there. She looked down at her growing baby bulge as she remarked, I'm just happy Michael is back and he deserves to be at home with his kids. Despite Michael's return, Jason indicated nothing had changed, and she could ask him if she needed anything. They both decided to keep up the pretense as the custody suit approached. Sasha felt hypocritical for assisting Michael in obtaining Wiley and Amelia, while refusing to let him have any involvement in the birth of her child. Michael believed her to be a good mother, Jason claimed, and the circumstances were different. Willow was no longer able to say the same. Sasha thought it was depressing that Willow no longer cared about anything but Drew, and that she would soon lose her kids as a result. Cody later arrived to see how Dante was doing. When Sasha questioned why, he shocked her by telling her what had transpired at the nurses' ball. He claimed that if he hadn't poked his nose where it didn't belong, it wouldn't have been such a huge mess. She told him that he was only attempting to do the right thing by someone he cared about, but he began to beat himself up. He wished he had persuaded Lulu to change his mind and expressed regret for not being a greater friend to her, Dante and Lulu. He told her about Gio smashing his violin on stage and said, I saw so much of myself in him in that moment. He believed that Gio, who loved his mother, had a worse familial situation than he had. As she patted her pregnant belly once again, Sasha emphasized that sometimes parents must hold secrets to protect their children, and that the secret should be kept that way. Michael refused to let Willow see the children at Carly's. She began to rattle off a long list of the things she did for the children, such as packing their school lunches and tucking them in, to which he responded, Not anymore. You also forced them to play family with their great uncle and second cousin after uprooting them from their home, he alleged. He informed her that the child always questioned him, When are you coming back and when can we go home? Michael became aware that she was prioritizing her personal demands over those of the children. He said that the court order stated otherwise and that he would be requesting full custody at the hearing when she told him he had no right to take children from her. On one condition he offered, You can still have a relationship with our kids. He also promised to grant her access to the kids if she broke up with Drew. She was forced to leave Drew's home and stop communicating with him. He remarked, Being with my uncle has made you awful because he has been an awful person. He advised her to decide whether she loved Drew or her children more. When Jason returned to Carly's, Michael congratulated him for everything he had done that night, and for taking care of Sasha while he was away by posing as the father of the child. Jason declared that he would stop at nothing to keep Michael and his children safe. Jason informed Michael that it wasn't his decision, but Michael still felt bad about sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing to assist Sasha. He told Michael that they had to maintain the masquerade, because he couldn't provide Drew and Willow with any more material to use against him. Knowing full well that it would turn into a knockdown drag-out case, Michael expressed his desire to be involved in the baby's life, and stated that he would concentrate on Wiley and Amelia. Jason informed Michael that he had his complete backing, and inquired as to if there was any possibility of compromise. Later, Michael went to Wiley, who was asleep, and assured him that he would never again abandon them. Drew got inside her thoughts and made her realize that she couldn't trust Michael at all when Willow boo-hooed to him over Michael's stipulations, saying, "He is not the Michael I knew." They felt blindsided since Michael had kept his quick recovery a secret and hadn't told Drew he was going home. She declared, "I can't have someone that's spiteful and heartless raising my kids." She removed her wedding band and intended to return it to him, but Drew grabbed Lila's ring and remarked, "Not that one." He believed he had the same claim to the ring as Michael, so this one stays with us. "So we blow him out of the water after we dig up whatever he's hiding," Drew plotted. The community is in shock and astonishment over the bombshell claim that Drew may have bought off a judge to get custody of Willow. If confirmed, this would be a flagrant misuse of wealth and position to influence the legal system in addition to being an egregious injustice. Judges are supposed to consider the material impartially in order to decide what is in the child's best interests, making custody disputes already emotionally charged and complicated. The idea that a parent might use dishonest tactics to get around this procedure erodes public confidence in the judicial system and presents significant moral and legal issues. Willow, the kid whose future is at stake, is at the center of this controversy. When making custody decisions, the child's welfare, stability, and love should come first. The question of whether Willow's best interests were actually taken into account or if she was just a pawn in a high-stakes power struggle arises if Drew did, in fact, bribe a judge. For a child caught in such a circumstance, the psychological effects could be disastrous, leading to emotions of betrayal, instability, and disorientation. The harm to Willow's sense of security might not go away even if the bribery is discovered and fixed. There would be serious legal repercussions for such an act. In most jurisdictions, bribing a public official is a criminal that carries severe penalties, including jail time. In addition to losing custody, Drew might be charged with a crime if he is proven guilty. Since judicial corruption attacks the core of the legal system, the implicated judge would also face disbarment, penalties, and imprisonment. To find the truth, investigations would probably examine correspondence, financial records, and witness statements. Prosecutors would be under tremendous pressure to provide justice quickly and openly because of the high-profile nature of such a case. The social repercussions would be substantial in addition to the legal ones. When affluent people or public personalities are detected gaming the system, their reputations suffer greatly. In the midst of the scandal, Drew's friends, family, and business associates may distance themselves, causing his personal and professional life to fall apart. Even if Drew escapes a criminal conviction, the stigma of such accusations could haunt him for the rest of his life because the court of public opinion is frequently merciless. Willow's other parent, whether biological or adopted, would probably win over the public's compassion in the meanwhile, which may result in fresh custody requests and media attention. It is impossible to overlook the wider ramifications for the legal system. Unchecked bribery in custody cases creates a risky precedent where power and money take precedence over justice. The thought that a wealthy person may easily purchase a favorable verdict exacerbates the already existent inequities that ordinary families face due to legal bills and bureaucratic obstacles in custody disputes. Calls for judicial reform, including more stringent supervision of family court judges, random case assignments to avoid partiality, and required openness in custody decisions, may be sparked by this case. In order to encourage court personnel to denounce corruption without fear of reprisal,